Hey Cafe crew, it's Colin Smith here from PhotoshopCafe.com, and today I've got a really exciting new piece of tech. So Insta360, the guys behind the Insta360 One X and other cameras have just released the Insta360 GO. This is the world's smallest and lightest stabilized camera. Now this is wearable and it can be operated just by a single button. Why don't we have a look at this right now? We're going to pull it out of the box. We're going to look at all the different components. We're going to look at setting it up. We're going to look at the use, and we're going to test out some of the footage. So let's get started. First of all, we have the camera itself, and you can see it is tiny. It's actually smaller than a AA battery. So if we look at the camera, on the front we have a lens and an indicator light. On the back, we have a charging point and also the action button. We look on the top, there's a microphone. Quite simple, we'll look at all of this in detail in a second. And the next part we have is the charging case. And this reminds me a little bit of Apple AirPods. You got a little button there, you tap it to see how charged this is. We take it, we line up where the metal pins are. Magnetically, it just snaps in there, has a cover, and then we're good to go. And the camera now is charging inside of this case. And to charge it, we just plug in a USB micro cable to a battery pack or the wall or wherever you want to charge it. In the back here, there's a little rubber piece that comes off, and you can see we can also use this to interface with our phone. And then in the back here, there's a lightning port, which enables us to connect to an iOS device. On the side here, it also comes with a small cable that enables us to connect it to an Android device. So one of the beauties of this is it can be mounted in so many different ways. For example, we can wear this pendant, we can put it around our neck, put it under a t-shirt, and then magnetically, the camera's just gonna snap on the outside of a shirt. Now, it doesn't work well if you're using something heavy like a sweater or a jacket. Works definitely better with a t-shirt or even a sweatshirt. Just put it underneath and that should snap on nicely. You could also attach it different ways. We've got the clip here, and once again, it's just magnetically just pops in there, and you could mount this onto a headband, onto a hat. You could mount it on all kinds of different surfaces. And there's also a rubber wedge here that we can use to adjust the angle of it. But for those who prefer sticky mounts, so then we have sticky mounts, which is also magnetic. So we could essentially just put this anywhere. You just peel this back and you stick it on any flat, dry surface, avoid vibration and also avoid excessive heat or cold, because then it won't work, but you can just peel that off, you can stick it on, and then when you're finished, just put that back on and you can reuse it. If it loses its stickiness, just wash it in water, dry it, and you're good to go again. Now, as far as the sticky, there's also an additional sticky here, which is a mount kind of like what you would see on a GoPro, and it also comes with a pivot stand where we just simply snap it in magnetically, and then we can mount this stand in different ways. So it can be attached here, you can just screw it in and then use the sticky base like the others. It also has a standard 1/4" thread underneath here, so you can attach it to a tripod or a selfie stick or other types of devices. And of course, when you're using the camera and you need to get a little bit of a charge, just simply pop it in the case, put the lid on, throw it in your pocket, and now it's charging. And we can attach it to the phone, just simply plugging in the lightning inside our little case here. Make sure the camera's in and make sure the metal parts line up. Snaps in there magnetically, and now I can connect to the app. And before you use the camera the first time, you'll want to activate it. So to do that, download the Insta360 GO app, then grab your charging case with the camera attached, pull the rubber piece off the back, you'll see a lightning adapter there, and just plug it into the bottom of your phone. Now, if you're using an Android, there's a cable provided which goes to the USB-C. You can attach that to your phone. Launch the app and then activate the camera. Now you're ready to go. Now, this is also how you connect when you're going to download your photos and your videos off the camera onto your phones. So there's 8 gigs of internal storage on the camera here, which is enough for 22 minutes of video or 3,737 photographs. So that should keep you busy, and of course you can transfer them off there. You can also plug into a computer and download them to the computer if you wish. All right, so there's 4 different modes of operation. We can do stabilized video, photos, stabilized hyperlapse, and slow motion. So let's have a look at how we would do that. So the first thing you want to do is mount it. I'm probably going to be using this pendant. This will go under my shirt, and then over my shirt, I just attach it like that. And then that's going to enable me to have a good solid base behind it, because remember, the button is on the back, the action button. But the nice thing about it is if I tap the front, that activates the action button. Very simple. So by default, it does what's known as quick capture. And quick capture is I just tap it once, and now it starts and it's recording a 30-second video clip. Now this is also stabilized footage, and it has a microphone on the top that's recording audio. At any time I can interrupt that by just tapping once, and that will stop it and turn off the device. Now let me tap again. It's recording video again. Now I can set this for 15-second or 30-second clips in the app. Now the thing is, if I want to take a photo, all I need to do is just tap it once, and it will take a photograph and stop recording video, and it will shut off. All right, the third mode of operation is hyperlapse. So all I need to do is tap this twice, and now it's gonna start recording hyperlapse. Now hyperlapse is like a time lapse, but it's motion, so that means you can attach it to yourself, a vehicle, a pet, whatever you want, and move through a scene, and it's gonna capture the different frames and turn them into a video. Nice thing about that is it's also stabilized. And the fourth mode of shooting is slow motion. I just simply tap it 3 times, and now it's recording in slow motion. And of course I can also set the time for that inside the app. It's gonna, by default, it's 15 seconds. You could make it 30 seconds if you want. At any time in any of these shooting modes, just tap it once to stop, and it will turn off again. So it only turns on while you're using it. So that means that the battery is gonna last a decent amount of time. Also, these button presses can all be customized inside the app. So you could change it to when you tap it, it starts shooting hyperlapse or photos, or however you want to set it up. So the nice thing about this really small camera is the fact you can put it almost anywhere. Now, it's not always going to be easy to get in there and tap it to turn it on. So you can also control it by Bluetooth. And to set it up on Bluetooth, make sure the Bluetooth is on your phone. Turn this, hold it for 2 seconds. You'll feel a vibration when it's turning on. Go into the Insta360 GO app, and you're going to see a little button here that says connect to Bluetooth control. So connect it there, and then it's going to show you the camera here. At that point, you just accept it, and now you're ready to shoot. All right, so I can shoot here. I can choose video, I can choose photos, or I can choose time lapse in there. And all I need to do at any time is just simply push the shoot button, and the camera takes the picture or starts the video remotely from your phone. You can also change the settings in here, and there's 2 more shooting modes available inside the app that are not available directly on the camera. One of those is static time lapse, which means you mount this somewhere and you shoot the time lapse with it, and that is not stabilized, so you don't want to be moving around. It's not the same as hyperlapse. And the other one is interval shooting, so you can choose what intervals you want to shoot in, so you could capture your entire day if you wanted. A couple of things to be aware of when you're using the camera on Bluetooth. Number 1, it won't automatically turn off because it needs to be on so it can connect through the Bluetooth, keep that signal going. The second thing is range. We have a 33 feet range approximately, and that's going to be line of sight with no obstacles in between. And the third thing is if you're using the charging case and you have your camera in there, it's going to disconnect it from the phone. All right, so why don't we take this out and try it out on the field, and then we're going to have a look at the different features inside of the app. So right now we're going to put the Insta360 GO to the test. I've got this magnetic pendant that actually comes with it. You just pop that on the inside of your shirt. I put it out of the case and it just snaps on magnetically. You can attach it to shirt, different types of things. But there's also other things you could do. Like I don't normally wear a cap backwards, but there's also a clip mount. So you can use this clip mount, maybe attach it to the hat, and you can walk around that way. There's all different types of ways of mounting this, even using sticky mounts. Right now, let's just go for a little bit of a walk, and we're going to put this to the test and see what the footage looks like. So right now I've got all 3 cameras mounted on a frame. I'm going to shake them up and see how good the stabilization is. And now we're just going to move it around. A little bit of a shake test. So let's have a look at the Insta360 GO app. So to launch it, just tap. And there's a couple of areas that we're going to be paying attention to. The first one is album. If I click here, we can see local. And this is everything that I've downloaded to my phone that I've shot. And to watch it, we just simply tap on it here and we can play through it. Of course, we can scrub through the bottom here. And if you want to do other things, you can just kind of tap it on here. And then we have the ability to do things like adjust the filters. We can adjust the brightness, different things like that. And of course, color, temperature, contrast, saturation. So we can do all those adjustments. Let's just go back here. We can also adjust our speed, so we can apply motion blur and do different speed kind of effects here. And of course we can trim it. So if we choose to trim here, we can say, you know what, I'd like to trim it from there as my endpoint. And why don't we tap on the out point? And then we could trim it to a certain section. Of course, we can add music here. And once again, we've got filters, different types of filters if we want to apply different ND filters, etc. And when we're finished, we just tap OK. And then we just simply export them now. So what it's going to do is it's going to export it to the phone first. And now you can share it to different social media sites. Or you can tap on here and choose to email it to yourself, message it to yourself, copy it, save it to the files on your iOS device. So if I plug my camera in, which I'm going to do right now, and now that it's on there, I can tap on camera and I can see the clips here that I have on the camera, and I can view these. And just click OK there. So now if I want to upload them, I can simply click here and I can choose to select all and then hit download, and it will download them to the phone. So if they're already on the phone, it's not going to create a repeat copy. It's just going to say, hey, they're already downloaded. I'm going to hit deselect, and of course we can go through them one at a time here. We can download them one, delete them, or we can just go here and change the aspect ratio. So one of the things worth noting on these clips is when this camera shoots, it shoots everything square. And then we look at it at the different aspect ratios. Let me just show you what I mean. Now, if we look at it there, we can see that's the aspect ratio. Now we can change it. Notice this, we can go high or we can go square. So as you can see, that shows the entire picture, which is the square. And then when we choose it here, notice it doesn't go as high, and there it does, and it cuts off the sides. So we can choose the aspect ratio vertical, horizontal, or square. Now we can also turn on and off the flow state stabilization. So here we are, we're going on board the plane right now, and we have different options. So let's change the aspect ratio. And so we go here, we're going to turn the flow state stabilization off. And watch this. Wait, let's just go back to our aspect ratio, and now we're going to play it. That's with stabilization off. Let me pause there. Let's go back to stabilization on and notice the difference here. In fact, I'll just replay that same section so you can see. You can see that the stabilization works really, really well on here. Let's go into settings. So under the settings here, this is where we can, log into our account, but we can also change the camera button settings. So this is where we can choose quick capture or the 1, 2, 3 presses. We can choose which one of the functions we want, and also we can change the recording length. So that's where we would change these in here. So you can see we can do all that. It's the hyperlapse. So that's where you'll find those settings. And then of course you can also calibrate your gyro. So if things get a little kind of weird and they're not smooth, just go in and calibrate your gyroscope. And we can look at our camera storage. And at any time we can format the camera. This is actually where this will happen. And it also shows how much video and photos remaining that we can fit on there. And then, then some other settings there. All right, so the other one I want to look at though is under these stories. And there's different categories. So all we need to do is just click on one. This one says 8 shots needed. So this is right now a template that we're going to use. And if we want to use a template, we just simply choose use this theme. So we're using Flash Cut, which is an AI, which looks at different types of clips and identifies what they are. So we can click on Flash Cut here. And right now it's just selected some different clips. And let's hit the preview. And this is something that Flash Cut built by itself. And so essentially Flash Cut is an AI that analyzes the clips and it looks for clips that belong together, such as sporting events or travel, etc. And then it just arranges them into this template that we created here. Now here's the thing about this template. At any time we can change any one of these clips. Let me just exit out of there. And we just select one, we tap on it, we can say, okay, there's the clip that's playing. If we want to play from a different section, we simply drag in here. And if we decide we don't want to use that, just tap here, and we can select a different clip. So maybe I want to use this one of me boarding the plane. And now it goes in there, and that's the clip that's playing. And of course, we can choose a different section of it. Let's go right when we're going in the door. All right, there we go. And you can see now it's going in the door. And then we can go to the next clip. We can see what we've got there. And then when you're finished, just simply click OK. And now it's created our story for us. And it's building it up. And now there's different things we can do on here. We can change things here like the speed. We can add text on there. We can do different things here with a filter, just like that. So we still have the option to do that. And that would be clip by clip basis. And then, of course, we can cut it different ways. We can split it. We can trim it. And if we want, we could even build it from scratch. Now, if we go into here, we can see there's my stories. There's a couple that have been built. If we click on them, we can choose there. And this is where we can export them out and share them with different social media, share the link, or download it to our album. And now we've got it as a video. Click OK. And we can actually go into our iPhone album, go into our camera roll. Here it is. And there we go, that's the basics of the Insta360 GO app. So as you can see, the Insta360 GO is a remarkable little camera. I'm really looking forward to adding it to my vlogs. I'm gonna take it on trips with me and also shoot some angles that I couldn't shoot before because of the nice tiny camera here. It can pretty much go anywhere. So anyway, guys, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments underneath. And also, if you like these kind of tutorials, don't forget to subscribe to Photoshop Cafe. Just hit the subscribe button right now. I upload a new video every single week. Ring the notification bell so you know when I upload it. And if you like this video, smash the like button into dust. And until next time, you know what I'm gonna say. I'll see you at the cafe.